Alrighty, let's see. We have comets. We have cyclones. Armageddon. No. A great matchup between two quality schools. First off, the Comets of Sandy Creek. Oh. The Cyclones of Watertown. And you out there, welcome to Whiz Quiz.
Production funding for Whiz Quiz is provided by Jefferson Lewis Boces, St. Lawrence Lewis Boces, Jefferson Community College, Samaritan Medical Center, the Northern New York Community Foundation, St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union, and Front Porch Realty. Additional funding is provided in part by the Adirondack Experience, the View Center for Arts and Culture, IBEW Local 910, and O'Reilly Auto Parts of Watertown and Carthage. Scholarships for winning Whiz Quiz teams are provided in part by National Grid, Stewart's Shops, New York Airbrake, Iroquois, and the following fraternal and civic organizations.
Once again, welcome to Whiz Quiz. I'm your host, Mel Busler. It is a pleasure to have you with us. Once again, we have two quality schools with us tonight. We'll be meeting the contestants in just a moment, but the most important thing for me is to look into your eyes and give you a big thank you for being a supporter of public television. We appreciate your help financially and also by tuning in, viewing the shows here on WPBS. We appreciate you and thank you for all you do for this station. Alrighty, want to meet the two schools. First off, we're going to begin with Sandy Creek. I want you to give your first and last name. Tell me a little bit about yourself. We're going to begin with Brody. Hi, Brody.
Howdy. My name is Brody Pekka. I'm a senior at Sandy Creek. This is my second year on Whiz Quiz, and I've been to 3 continents.
Wow, quite impressive. We move over to Leah. Hi, Leah.
Hi, my name is Leah Wall. I'm a senior at Sandy Creek. This is my first year on Whiz Quiz. And a fun fact about me is I used to be a professional hobby horser.
Very good. Hi, Hayden.
Hello, my name is Hayden Soluri. I'm a senior at Sandy Creek. This is my second year on Whiz Quiz. And a fun fact about me is that in my spare time, I actually bull ride.
You bull ride? No bull.
No bull.
Alrighty, very good. Simon says.
Hey, I'm Simon Preston. I'm a senior. This is my second year on Whiz Quiz. And over the summer, I designed some custom Uno cards.
Very good. And you brought your advisor with you tonight, which is fantastic. Let's hear it for Christina Hunt. She's in the building. There we go. Alrighty, now let's meet the folks from Watertown. We're going to begin with Mason. Hi, Mason.
Hi, my name is Mason Andiorio. I'm a senior at Watertown High School. This is my first year on Whiz Quiz, and I've been over to half of the United States.
Wow, a traveler. Very good. Up next is Lila. Hi, Lila.
I'm Lila Adams. I'm a junior at Watertown. This is my first year on Whiz Quiz, and a fun fact about me is I'm Miss Italia.
Miss Italia. Buongiorno. April.
Hi, my name's April Wang. I'm a senior at Watertown High School. This is my second year on Whiz Quiz, and a fun fact about myself is that I speak 3 languages.
Very good. I have trouble with just English. Nice to have you here tonight. And Fasia.
Hi, my name is Fasia Qureshi. I'm a senior at Watertown High School. This is my first year in Whiz Quiz, and a fun fact about me is that I can make a clover with my tongue.
Wow, very good. And you also brought your advisor with you tonight. Lisa Winkler is in the house. Lisa. Alrighty, folks, let's move right into our first round with Smart Start. Smart Start. The teams are individually asked questions. The other team cannot answer the question. 5 seconds are given to teammates to consult with each other and ring in to give an answer. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Questions are worth 10 points each. Good luck. And we're going to begin with Sandy Creek. Got a history question for you. The Mesopotamian civilization was situated between which two rivers? Time is up. The Tigris and Euphrates. Tigris and Euphrates, what we're looking for. History question for Watertown. What ancient civilization was located on the island of Crete? April, Watertown.
The Indus River Valley civilization.
That is incorrect. We're looking for Minoan. Minoan. Alrighty. Arts, back to Sandy Creek. What punctuation mark ends a question? Hayden, Sandy Creek.
A question mark?
Very good. A question mark is correct. Alrighty, we move over to Watertown Arts question. What punctuation mark shows strong emotion? April, Watertown.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark is correct. Alrighty. Science question, we move back to Sandy Creek. What tool measures the volume of liquids accurately? Brody, Sandy Creek.
A graduated cylinder.
That is correct. Alrighty, we move over to Watertown. Science question. What flat, usually round tool is used to hold small samples or chemical reactions? April, Watertown.
A weighboat.
Now we're looking for Petri dish. Petri dish is what we're looking for. Alrighty, math question for Sandy Creek. Solve the equation for x. Solve 4x plus 1 equals 2x plus 7. Simon, Sandy Creek.
X equals 3.
That is correct. Alrighty, we move a math question over to Watertown. Solve the equation for x. 16x minus 3 equals 10x plus 27. April, Watertown.
X equals 5.
That is correct. Alrighty. History question back to Sandy Creek. This person melts iron in a large forge to make nails, hinges, and tools. Brody, Sandy Creek.
I'm going to go with a blacksmith.
That is correct. Alrighty. Watertown, history question for you. This person ran the grist mill on the river to grind grain into flour. Time is up. A miller. A miller is what we're looking for. Alrighty. Arts question, Sandy Creek. What is the name for the color family of reds, oranges, and yellows? Hayden, Sandy Creek.
Warm colors?
Warm colors is correct. We go over to Watertown. Arts question. What is the name for the color family of blues, greens, and purples? Facia, Watertown.
Cool colors?
Cool colors is correct. Alrighty, back to Sandy Creek. Science question. What is the term for the energy stored in chemical bonds? Hayden, Sandy Creek.
Potential energy?
Now we're looking for chemical energy. Chemical energy. Science question for Watertown. What type of energy does a moving electric charge possess? April, Watertown.
Kinetic energy.
That is incorrect. Electrical energy. Electrical energy, what we're looking for. Alrighty, math question for Sandy Creek. Pick up your pencils. Find the missing term in the sequence. 5, 15, 45, blank, 405. Simon, Sandy Creek.
135.
That is correct. 135 is correct. Alrighty, math question for Watertown. Find the missing term in the sequence. 2, 4, 8, 16, blank. Facia, Watertown.
32.
32 is correct. And that is the end of our first round. Let's take a look at the score right now. We got a close one. Sandy Creek leads Watertown by a score of 60-40. Alrighty, I want to know what's happening down the road in Sandy Creek. And to give me the information, the always talented Brody.
Well, right now at Sandy Creek, our fall sports are coming to a close and winter ones are on the rise. We have our school play Anastasia coming up, and we have a talent show happening November 22nd, so feel free to pop out if you want a good show.
You know, you would strike me as being somebody that would do very good in a talent show. Are you in the talent show?
Unfortunately, I'm not.
What?
I know.
There's going to be an investigation, Christina. We're going to find out what's going on. Alrighty, thank you very much. Now let's go on to round 2, one-on-one. One-on-one, each individual player is matched up against corresponding position players on the other team. If a student gets the answer wrong, the opposing student has a chance to answer. No consultation allowed. Questions are worth 10 points each. Alrighty, we're going to begin with Brody and Mason. History question: who was the 16th president of the United States? Brody, Sandy Creek.
Abraham Lincoln.
That is correct. Alrighty, arts question for Leah and Lila. What is the art technique where objects are drawn to look as if they are sticking out of a page and provides the illusion of depth? Lila, Watertown.
Pop art?
That is incorrect. Leah?
Realism?
No, we're looking for foreshortening. Foreshortening is the answer we're looking for. Alrighty, science question. We go to Hayden and April. What is molten rock called once it erupts onto the surface? April, Watertown.
Lava.
Lava is correct. Alrighty, Simon, Facia, math question. Calculate the area of a rhombus with diagonals of 10 centimeters and 8 centimeters. Simon, Sandy Creek.
80 centimeters.
That is incorrect. Facia?
40 centimeters.
40 centimeters is correct. Alrighty. History question. We move back to Brody and Mason. What natural resource powered early factories and railroads? Mason, Watertown.
Coal.
Coal is correct. Alrighty, arts question for Leah and Lila. Who wrote the story A Rose for Emily? Time is up. The answer is William Faulkner. William Faulkner is what we're looking for. Alrighty, science question. We go to Hayden and April. Which organ helps filter waste from the blood? April, Watertown.
The kidneys.
Kidneys is correct. Alrighty, math question for Simon and Facia. A right triangle has legs of lengths 5 units and 12 units. What is the length of the other leg? Simon, Sandy Creek.
7 units.
That is incorrect. Facia? Time is up.
4.
13 units. 13 units, what we're looking for. Alrighty. We go back to Brody and Mason for a history question. What was the name of Wilson's peace plan in World War I? Brody, Sandy Creek.
The League of Nations.
That is incorrect. Mason?
Wilson's peace plan.
The 14 points plan is what we're looking for. 14 points plan. Alrighty. Arts question for Leah and Lila. What kind of writing shares your own life story? Lila, Watertown.
A narrative?
No, that is incorrect. Leela?
An autobiography?
Autobiography is correct. Alrighty. Science question for Hayden and April. What type of blood cells fights infection? Hayden, Sandy Creek.
White.
White blood cells is correct. Alrighty. We have a math question for Simon and Facia. The ratio of teachers to students is 1 to 20. If there are 80 students, how many teachers? Simon, Sandy Creek.
4.
4 teachers is correct. Alrighty, that is the end of our second round. Let's take a look at the scoreboard right now. And it is Sandy Creek leading Watertown by a score of 100 to 80. Alrighty, we don't have far to go, but we're going to check out what's happening at Watertown High School. And to do that is April. Hi, April.
Hi. So at Watertown High School this spring, we have 2 new activities coming up. We have our marching band and our girls flag football team. And what's really interesting is that we're one of the only schools in the region to have either of these activities.
Very good. I think the flag football thing is going to take off. Not just with Watertown, but with other schools getting involved. That's pretty neat. Alrighty. Let's move now on to round 3, Know and Tell. Already Know and Tell. Questions are directed at both teams. If a team gets an answer wrong, the other team is permitted to answer. Consultations with team members are allowed. Questions are worth 10 points. The third question in a set is a bonus question that can be answered by either team. Bonus questions are worth 15 points. Good luck. History question. What U.S. president introduced the New Deal? April, Watertown.
FDR.
That is correct. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Alrighty, history question. In 1929, what was the day the stock market crashed called? April, Watertown.
Black Tuesday.
Black Tuesday is correct. Bonus question, history. What branch of government declared some New Deal programs unconstitutional? Brody, Sandy Creek.
Judicial.
That's right. Supreme Court, very good. Arts question. How many letters are used to name musical notes? Mason, Watertown.
5.
That is incorrect. Sandy Creek. Hayden.
Sorry, 7.
7 is correct. Alrighty. Arts question. In musical composition, which clef is most commonly used for higher instruments like the violin? April, Watertown.
The treble clef.
Treble clef is correct. Bonus question for arts. Which clef is used for lower instruments? Mason, Watertown.
The bass clef.
Bass clef is correct. Alrighty, science question. What layer of the atmosphere contains the ozone layer? Brody, Sandy Creek.
The stratosphere.
Stratosphere is correct. Science question. What layer of the atmosphere protects us from UV radiation? Brody, Sandy Creek.
The stratosphere.
That is incorrect. Watertown. Mason.
The ozone.
Ozone layer is correct. Bonus question for science. What type of radiation does the ozone layer absorb? April, Watertown.
UV.
UV radiation is correct. Alrighty. Math question. Pick up your pencils. Simplify 5 times the quantity x minus 2 minus 3 times the quantity x plus 1. Facia, Watertown.
2x minus 1.
That is incorrect. Sandy Creek. Simon.
2x minus 13.
That is correct. 2x minus 13. Alrighty, have another math question for you. Evaluate the quantity x squared plus 2x evaluated when x equals 3. Simon, Sandy Creek.
15.
15 is correct. We have a math bonus question for you. Factor x squared plus 5x plus 6. Mason, Watertown.
Quantity x plus 2, quantity x plus 3.
That is correct. Alrighty, we move on. History question. What Cold War event brought the world closest to nuclear war in 1962? April, Watertown.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
That is correct. Alrighty. History question. Who was the U.S. president during the Cuban Missile Crisis? Brody, Sandy Creek.
JFK.
That's right, John F. Kennedy. Alrighty, history bonus question. What world power placed nuclear missiles in Cuba? April, Watertown.
The Soviet Union.
That is correct, Soviet Union. Arts question. What do we call a topic that has more than one reasonable point of view? Simon, Sandy Creek.
A debate?
We accept that, yeah, debatable topic. Very good. Arts question. What is the beginning of a story or essay that grabs the reader's attention called? Mason, Watertown.
The introduction.
That is incorrect. Hayden, Sandy Creek.
The hook.
We will accept that, yes. Narrative hook. Narrative hook. Alrighty, arts bonus question. What do we call the final polished version of a piece of writing? April, Watertown.
The final draft.
Final draft is correct. Alrighty, let's check the scoreboard and look at that. You can't get any closer. Sandy Creek and Watertown are tied at 195 apiece. Well, if you've missed a match from this year or past years, or you can even go back 20 years if you want, all you have to do is go online at watch.wpbstv.org. Now let's move on to round 4. Think fast. Think fast. In this round, either team can answer a question. If your team gets the answer wrong, the other team gets the next question exclusively. Consultation is allowed. Questions are worth 10 points each. Good luck. History question. What event in 1989 symbolized the end of the Cold War? Hayden, Sandy Creek.
The falling of the Berlin Wall.
That is correct. Arts question. Who wrote the Telltale Heart? Brody, Sandy Creek.
Edgar Allan Poe.
That is correct. Science question. Which planet has an axis of rotation parallel with the plane of its orbit? Simon, Sandy Creek.
Uranus.
Uranus is correct. The next is a math question. It'll be on screen. Pick up your pencils and look to the screen. The limit as x approaches 0 of tangent x over x equals what? April, Watertown.
Infinity. Infinity.
That is incorrect. It is 1. 1 is what we're looking for. Alrighty, that means that Sandy Creek will get this exclusive question. How many U.S. representatives are there? Brody, Sandy Creek.
100.
That is incorrect. We're looking for 435. 435. Alrighty, arts question. Which French composer is known for Clair de Lune? Facia, Watertown.
Tchaikovsky.
That is incorrect. It is Claude Debussy. Claude Debussy. Excuse my French. Alrighty. Alrighty. Science question. This will be an exclusive question, by the way, for Sandy Creek. The type of respiration that does not use oxygen is called what? Brody, Sandy Creek.
Photosynthesis.
That is incorrect. We're looking for anaerobic respiration is what we're looking for. Alrighty, this is the last question of the evening. Alrighty, it's a math question. What is the slope of the line y equals negative 3x plus 7, Simon?
Negative 3.
Negative 3, Simon says, is correct. Alrighty, that is the last question of the evening. And let's check our final score. Sandy Creek has defeated Watertown by a score of 235 to 195. That means Sandy Creek will be moving on to further competition. Congratulations to the Comets. Thanks to Watertown for being here. Join us the next time as Immaculate Heart goes up against Indian River. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night.
Production funding for Whiz Quiz is provided by Jefferson Lewis Boces, St. Lawrence Lewis Boces, Jefferson Community College, Samaritan Medical Center, the Northern New York Community Foundation, St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union, and Front Porch Realty. Additional funding is provided in part by the Adirondack Experience, the View Center for Arts and Culture, IBEW Local 910, and O'Reilly Auto Parts of Watertown and Carthage. Scholarships for winning Whiz Quiz teams are provided in part by National Grid, Stewart's Shops, New York Air Brake, Iroquois, and the following fraternal and civic organizations.